Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. I just want to say thank you to everybody that likes, subscribe, share the video, and comment. I do appreciate it, and I want to say thank you. I'm smiling and everything because there was an interview today with the Breakfast Club, and they interviewed Pretty Ricky, right? And the one thing I wanted to know that didn't get brought up. I wish they had callers could call in. I probably would have called in. Nah. I don't know if I would have. But anyways, I wanted Pretty Ricky to address the song that they did with H Town, Jodeci, Knock Your Heels Off. I really wanted them to address that song and like how was it working with JoJo, KC, and H Town. R.I.P. Dino. So I really wanted them to ask that question. I'm surprised Charlamagne didn't bring that up because I wanted to know. But because that video was crazy and I had just got through watching the video again because I forgot the name of the song. So I clicked on the video and I could do nothing but just smile. Uh, this song came out in 2012. OMG, them days. I love Jodeci and I love H-Town. OMG. So anyways, the interview today, the video was there was a lot going on in that video. With Knock Your Heels Off with H-Town, Jodeci, and Pretty Ricky. So anyways, I must say I do like Pretty Ricky as a group, and what brings me back to them, I had just got a new car, and I didn't know who Pretty Ricky was at the time or anything, and someone made a CD for me and they put it inside my CD player at the time in the car, and the song was it Your Body? It goes rolling down 95. I got new shoes on a ride. I had new shoes on a ride, and I was rolling down 95 when it came on. I was like, oh, this is the shit. And then I had a system in this quest. System was on point. But that was back then. But anyway, so I do like Pretty Ricky. And the interview was really cool. It was really good. They did address a lot of rumors and a lot of things that had happened in their career. Like they talked about how they split up and how they broke up because they were young. They didn't understand a lot of things, and and people was playing. They were brainwashed, and people was playing mind games with them, and separating them and not making them as brothers as they are, and Pleasure P, he said one thing. He goes, "No, you take someone that doesn't have any money, and then all of a sudden they got a hit. They get money, they get popularity. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to invest. They don't know how to do this. All they know is they're the shit at the time and point, and then they end up messing up, and then people are stealing from them, taking their money and lying to them. And they said that their story was just like the stories that we've seen, like the Five Heartbeats, the Temptation movie, and also the new edition movie. They said that things like that did happen to them, and so but all that's over now. But I was glad for them to address that because they still young men, and they're out here now, and they got a single that's dropping, and they're gonna do one more album and one more tour or whatever. And I guess if it's successful, they're probably going to continue it. It seems like Slickum is gonna be the Eddie Kane of the group or whatever. But so I'm so glad that Pleasure P addressed that as well, because hopefully a lot of people that are coming up or in the music business understand like the demons and people that will try to separate you and break up your bond and break up what you have and will steal from you right in front of your face and act like it's all good. Like you be like, where's the money at? I don't know. Did the check come in? I don't know. So it was good for them to address that, and then also address that they were young, they was immature, and now they're mature. Slickums did talk about wanting 12 kids and all this other stuff and having kids, but he also did say that he's blessed that he has these group of guys around him, his brothers, that when he is down, when he is low, or if he doesn't, he can call on his brothers. His brothers are there and they got his back. So that's one really good thing. And then on top of that, Spectacular was like one of the most sexiest guys in the group at the time, and he always showed his body, whatever. And then he did the video with with him and his boxers and all this other stuff, and people was questioning whether he was straight or not and things like that. But then he explained why he did that. It was also to help promote him online, to promote him in social media, where he ended up developing a really good business company that is number 14 on the list of companies that are doing well in 2017. And then also him addressing that, and also him writing a book as well. And then on top of that, he has 2 kids and being responsible. And now they're different. Now they're able to work together as men and do things as men, and not have people come inside their circle and try to infiltrate it and destroy it. And as well as they're independent artists and they're taking care of their own business. So that was really good to hear. And also to hear, Spectacular talk about how he works with a lot of different artists that we don't hear about, like Jay Holiday. It was Jay Holiday was one of them, and he was talking about Day 26, and he was talking about some other people. Who was it? Bone Thugs and Harmony, and there was somebody else he did mention. It was Bone Thugs and Harmony, and Twister, and some other artists that don't get a lot of media attention, that we don't hear everywhere, or we don't hear about their shows, or them not going to the biggest event. But how he helped put money in their pocket, because he had the understanding of these people was once big time and revered celebrities at one point, but now they haven't had a hit in years or whatever. Why should they contribute a lot to the music business, but they're not making any money? The labels are making the money, or whoever whoever they sign everything over to, and they might not have the masters to the song they did, or maybe someone wrote the song for them, and now they're not making money. But with his company, they're able to make money. They're able to get $60,000 a month from former being a celebrity. So he's like saying, like, these people were once, like Jay Holiday had like 5 million followers, but he hasn't had a hit in years. But so he turned around their media network and made it profitable to them. So if they can't do the big venues, if they can't do these shows, they have a place to go. They have somewhere to go. I just got to make sure my speaker's been cutting off on me and things like that. So anyways, and then we got the fire truck or the ambulance. They're having a car wash again down the street. So anyways, him doing that was really smart. And like, I thought he was a good guy when I saw, but I knew there was something. I knew he had a brain for some reason, because a lot of stars and things like that I do like, or songs I do like, a lot of times I find their videos and their interviews and I watch them and things like that, and I listen to what they have to say to see where their mind's at sometimes, if I'm able to, or whatever. And so I was like, wow, that's really good. And he also says that that's how he keeps Slickum paid. And Slickum says, yes, even though it's a boring story and everything, but yeah, my brother's there for me. He got my back, and he's making sure that they will have a secure future, if they never put out music again, and other people like them as well. Because Master P went off at the BET Works talking about Prodigy from Mobb Deep, R.I.P. He was saying that a couple of months ago, Prodigy couldn't even get in the door at BET. He couldn't even talk to them at BET. But all of a sudden, now that he's dead, they want to do this, they want to do that for him. And he goes, and he thought it was fugazi, and that's very true. And I remember a few years ago, the Temptations, they came to my town or whatever. It was a small event that they was performing at a small place or whatever, but the tickets were kind of expensive. Well, I don't know how much the ticket was, but I believe it was expensive. And a friend brought me to the concert or whatever, and the music was wonderful. I knew all the words. I was like, I'm surprised you know these songs. And I was telling them stories about the Temptation, because it wasn't my era, but I love old school R&B and old school music and old school hip hop. I just love music, period. And so, especially good music. I don't care what age you are or whatever. If it's good music and it sounds good, and I get the little tingles and I want to move, it's good music. So anyways, these men look old. It wasn't I think it was only one original Temptation member there, or maybe two, and they wasn't moving too fast. and they was moving slow. They looked like they had arthritis, that they were aching, but they were happy to be on stage or whatever. But I can only imagine they would rather be at a venue where they're getting maybe $1 million from. And then Temptations deserve $1 million. You know, all the old school groups, if they get back on stage, they deserve way more than maybe 1, 2, 3 million. Because what is Guns N' Roses getting? What are the one member, I think, or the two members left of the Beatles getting? And so I did enjoy myself at the concert, but I did have a aching heart, because I was like, wow, these men are like in their 60s and their 70s, or maybe older, and they're out here dancing and singing for us, even though I love the music. But I would have preferred them to be at the biggest place that we have here, is our biggest location that we have here. They wasn't there, where you can put in maybe 200,000, 100,000 people inside that one venue. And I would have rather them be there, and I would have felt a lot better, because I would have known that they would have left that venue to go to another venue, or they would have been home. They wouldn't have been playing like a Chitlin circuit. And that's the thing that bothers me, is that our legends should not be playing at Chitlin circuits or whatever. You know, you talk about the Brandy and Monica, stuff that was going on. These girls should be revered like, Cher, Madonna, and they're not, and they should be revered on that type of platform. And if the most utmost right respect should be like as them as legends. It's like our the people of artists that are black, Moors, black, that have been out and haven't been out in a long time and don't have a hit. They should not be treated like dirt or trash, and they shouldn't have to perform at Chitlin circuits. We should support our artists, whether it's rappers, hip-hop, R&B, because we make the most money when it comes to music. But you can't tell. Just like in football, the football players make majority of the whole NFL, but yet they get treated like shit and they don't get the money they deserve. And then on top of that, they can't stand up for what they want to stand up, and they can get blackballed in the drop of a dime. How can that happen when you guys are majority? But it is what it is. So anyways, back to the interview. So, Spectacular just speaking on that and on that level of business, and talking about the same thing that I'm talking about, how people that hasn't have a hit in a while should still have some type of avenue coming in. Then on top of that, it's coming from a black man helping out other black artists, which is wonderful, which is beautiful, and I really did like that. Then also Baby Blue being like the support system, being like the level-headed, being the one that keep everybody together. Or because when Slickum was doing his things that was kind of not professional in the interview, he was like the standout guy, but he would intervene and let you know that, okay, this is why he's doing this. This is why this is happening, because we was raised this way. That's why he wants them many kids and things like that, where he's like the PR person, where he knows his brothers and he protects his brothers as well. And then Pleasure P being like I'm not down for that bullshit, but being knowledgeable as well. And also Pleasure P talking about bringing other groups back together, like Day 26, like B2K, like Day 26, B2K, and they might have said some other groups. But what happened to Mindless Behavior? I know they didn't break up, and things like that, where these people infiltrated their circle and got into their heads. Because you go back to the Temptation and all the other groups like the Dells, there was people in one person's head, either feeding them drugs or feeding them lies to break up their situation, and the record label trying to separate them. Hey, you're the star, whatever. And Pleasure P was saying he was a victim of that, but now that would never happen again, because now they have grown so much together and seen so much. And so it just says that it's a really dangerous business, and you really have to know who you are and stay close to your brothers, and your brothers and your sisters, and don't let people infiltrate what you have and destroy it, and then at the end you have nothing. So I really thought that interview was very educational in so many ways. Even though Slickum was acting up through all the interview, he was trying to drink, and he said he didn't want the interview to be boring. He wanted people to talk about the interview, because you also know DJ Envy wasn't there as well. So I really just thought it was a great interview, and just to see where they where they came from and where they're at now, and how their mindset is different. You know, they talked about they had this girl, that girl, every girl, but now they're all settled down, about to get married, and they have families and they have responsibilities, and they're not about the games and the foolishness. Only person that's about the games a little bit and want to make kids and continue to have, he wants to make 14 kids, is Slickum. And it was just like it was a lot. It was a really decent interview, and I'm glad that, you know, they came out and they talked about, you know, things that they went through, and they addressed everything, and they wasn't scared, they wasn't hiding, and it was just nice. Even though Slickum gave a crazy story talking about his father told him, this is how you don't catch a disease, because they all talked about that they never caught anything out here, but they did use protection, but Slickum said he didn't. But he said, and then Slickum did talk about his sex tape. He was like, you know, he was a little high, had a lot to drink, and he kind of like, and he had to redeem himself. He did the black back flip, and he also said that he's seen in a lot of other porn movies that people were copying and imitating what he was doing or whatever. And then also it was a decent interview, but he did say this that was crazy by Angela Yee and, you know, Spectacular and Pleasure P and Baby Blue corrected him. But he goes, my father told me that if you have unprotected sex with a girl, the way that you don't catch a disease, if you jerk off twice and then pee, and you won't have a disease. And then Charlamagne tried to be funny too and says, my father says if you take earwax out of your ear and you put it in the girl's vagina and she jumps, that means she has a disease. These are some backward old folks tales. So I really thought it was funny. So I wish, you know, Pretty Ricky the best of luck. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.